Here we go, spawning down in the bottom right position of Lightshade. It is representing Team NV. One of the GOATs. He's back. It is DRG. Dong Regu.
And his opponent in the upper left, in the blue, he is, of course, representing Kaitza Gaming, the hero of the Golden Team League last year. He is Time.
Time is such a great player. He is. I remember a long time ago, when he was just kind of first starting out. He was very much a timing-oriented player. That's going to happen a lot. Two base pushes against Protoss. That was kind of his bread and butter. Yeah, a little bit of a specialist. TVT, he had some funky builds. TVZ, he looked very lost in the matchup. But then he kind of started evolving. And he started filling in the gaps in his playstyle. There were still some pretty big ones. But he started making some big strides. And then all of a sudden, I think it was BlizzCon 2018 or 2019 rolls around. And he 3-2s Maru. And the games look amazing. And unfortunately, he did end up getting that, that proper curse where you lose on the on the rematch. But he showed everyone that he's an amazing player.
So, Steadfast, would you say he was biding his time to try to get to where he wanted to be? You know what? I friends in chat on Steadfast chat as well, because if you're kind of watching this cast at this point, you know what you're asking for. But I'm not going to apologize. This is just going to happen all night. It's going to get worse as the morning goes on, as I get more and more bleary, because unfortunately, national shipping, I guess, has denied me my sweet caffeine. So as I get more bleary and we get more tired, the puns will get worse, the jokes will get worse, and Steadfast is just going to have to drag my sorry voice through the later rounds. But for now, Steadfast, we're still okay.
Absolutely. We're gonna make it through this. We're gonna get through this together with the power of friendship in StarCraft. Reaper gonna get denied here, not gonna get too much value. Nice micro from DRG, pulling back that Ling as it gets damaged here. And once the Queen pops out, great micro on these drones, not even having to make any buildings. Just losing a tiny bit of mining time, so good job from Time to force that. But yeah, just generally well done from DRG right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And you talked a little bit about how Time now is less lost in the matchup. In TVZ, he actually looks rather good depending on who he's playing, but DRG has looked like maybe not the best in the world at this matchup, because there's Cyril and Raynor, but certainly the best Korean in this matchup when he is on. And he's also very much a streaky player in this day and age. There are days where he's like, man, this guy cannot lose, right? He looks so damn good. But then there are days he just kind of gets 3-0'd, especially in online tournaments, and you're just like, okay, DRG, what happened? Now, of course, I think this is part of the way that it's like, okay, it's an online tournament, it's a $50 prize pool, who really cares? But he certainly can turn it on for the bigger events, and Steadfast, this is a rather large prize pool.
Yeah, it is $2,000 to start with a match arena with God knows how many codes. I want us to find out. I want us to get to that cap. I want us to figure it out. And then people can just directly contribute. A lot of streams covering this. I think we can get to $3,000. I think we can make this a $3,000 tournament together. And something very cool to mention, the fact that sometimes he does look a little off. One of the players who actually 3-0'd him in an online tournament was MaxPax. MaxPax, one of the cheekiest lads in the business. Very, very strong player, and he's actually playing in this tournament up against Stats in the first round.
Yeah, I'd love to be a fly on the wall on that matchup, but we can only cover one matchup at a time, Steadfast. That is the sadness of this tournament happening all at once. Maybe we'll get our hands on some replays later on. But you know what? Enough about other matchups. Enough about other things. We should probably mention, in the annals of cheekiness, Time, he's going for a battlecruiser build, and it has not been scouted. In fact,
no, it is
DRG...
not.
No, it is not. And DRG has not even seen anything about the gases. All he knows is that there's a Tekla building and there is no cloak, which might tell him already, but honestly, cloakless Banshee is still a thing, even if it seems a bit rarer in this day and age.
Yeah, and to be honest, cloak could have just not been started yet. It would be late for it, very late, but that could be a mind game. Now he has to be respectful of this build. Hellion does go down, kind of takes a fight, does pick off a creep tumor thanks to the coincidental splash damage, so nice job right there. DRG, though, splitting his queens very nicely at the moment, and he does have a very high queen count, 8 queens already. So this battlecruiser, well, it will have some potential, but it's not going to be a game-winning move, I don't think.
Now,
it's only the one battlecruiser, anyways.
Yeah. And now most of the queens are in the front here, so the battlecruiser that teleports in, we'll get a couple workers early on, but again, most of the queens in the front when they're still in the main base and a spore, not all that useful. As, yeah, you mentioned this, there are, I believe it's 9 queens now on the map, so DRG, he's taken a page from the Raynor style that Raynor used against Mario in IEM Katowice, which Raynor kind of started to realize, but oh, look at this, the Hellions are going to try to dive on in here, but there is just too much queen energy. Hellions are going to get absolutely nothing here. Well done from DRG.
He uses the little shrub. Oh, beautiful move from DRG, pinning those Hellions against the wall and just beating the ever-living hell out of them. And he has not lost a queen. What an incredible defense right there. Oh, man, that is absolutely incredible right there from DRG. He's at 75 drones. How is he at 75 drones and still alive against a Hellion battlecruiser opening?
Well, you know, Steadfast, it's really simple. You build a lot of drones and then you don't lose them. And then, well, pretty easily, you're at 75 workers at 6 minutes and 45 seconds into this game. But you're not wrong. DRG had a fantastic hold. All of those queens early on meant that you're like, man, all of his queens at the front. He's not going to be able to deal with the battlecruiser in the main base in the third. Wrong. He will be, because he has enough queens anyways. 9 queens is a lot. But Time does have a follow-up push here. This is a decent amount of Marines. Stim is done. Combat Shield's not done yet. And this is one of the more difficult positions for DRG to break loose from, but on the flip side, this is a difficult position for Time to attack through, right? Yes, you have that kind of high ground. It's really hard to get the flank around. But I mean, on the flip side, there is so much creep spread on the map here for DRG that it is going to be very difficult for Time to actually penetrate DRG's position in any way, shape, or form. So DRG, he's like, yeah, sure, fine, take my creep. I'll get it right back. I have 9 queens. Totally fine.
Yeah. And additionally speaking, Bane speed's done. There's no upgrade lead for Time. Of course, he did commit to that battlecruiser. Even though he kept it alive, it still did slow down his build in many ways. Now, the one thing, and the fact that there's only one tank means, yeah, not a lot can be done. And this tank is going to get caught unsieged, and that will... Oh, no, he's actually not going to take the fight. Okay, I understand. That was a lot of Marines behind there. Didn't want to commit off of creep. Why throw the game away? But... I mean, he does have a flank now setting up. His own 1-1 is done. A lot of queens at the front. Yeah, you got to be a little careful here.
Yeah, the one thing I will say is there are very few banelings on the map right now. Only 7, and DRG, he has the gas for it. Now, yes, he is getting on into Hydra Tech. He is getting into Lurker Tech eventually. That's what the plan is. But look at this. Now we have the flank coming on in here. Banelings coming from behind. But look at that target fire with all those banelings. There only one will make a connection, and yes, Time will be forced on back, but still great target fire with the tanks. And oh, look at that. He will get all, well, one baneling remains, but it's going to get targeted down too. But these banelings will force Time back. All in all, though, damn good trade there for Time.
I would say so. That was way better than it had any business being. But that's just a testament to how good Time has become. Oh my god, look at this from DRG. He burrows a Ling for vision. Oh my god. Dr. G coming in here with the PhD in scouting. So smart. Time with an SCV that has, oh my god, actually kills 2 banelings. That's actually cost efficient. What the hell? Oh, that's very funny.
Yeah, and you know, that's one of the things we talk about, or when we watch DRG, right? We look at this, okay, nice run by coming on in here. It looks like the battlecruiser is getting something done on the other side too, but I think this has a little bit more legs to it. Actually, no, not really. Nice target fire. And the so many queens. But anyway, one of the things we talk about, as we do have DRG taking this engagement on the other side here, is going to try to break down. The tanks will die, and now it's just a bunch of Marines. There are no banelings here. There's only like 3. So Time actually can dive on in here. This is getting a little bit hairy for DRG. Now, of course, once those banelings finish, no worries. But for them, yeah, he's going to be fine. But as I was saying before, you know, Time so rudely interrupted me by trying to win the game. DRG is one of these players that is old school. He played a long time ago, and one of these things we used to see all of the time in Heart of the Swarm, as we do have that run by on into the 3rd base, one of the things we used to see all the time in Heart of the Swarm was this idea of, again, you don't just use Burrow to kill off Marines, you get the bio bombs, whatever, but Zerglings all over the map. You use them as scouting. Yes, they have diminished sight range compared to an unburrowed Zergling, but they are free. If you put them off a creep, they're almost never going to get scanned. And it works out really well for the Zerg player. People complain about the map hacks that creep is, but I think this is even a bit more of a map hack.
Oh, yeah. And realistically, it's way less effort than creep. Way less effort. Like, you put it there once and it gives you the vision, unless your opponent builds a Raven, which they're never going to do in ZVT unless they did it as a part of their opening and they're Polt, as like some kind of like weird build. Or creep actually surpasses that point and they coincidentally scan it. Or you make Burrow Banelings and then they're scanning everywhere. But Hive is done. Vipers are on the field. 2-2 is done, and Adrenal Glands is not quite done, but about to finish up. DRG has put himself in such a great position, but Time has done a really good job of threatening, keeping a really aggressive position where creep cannot develop.
Yeah, look at this pre-split too. It's going to be so difficult for DRG to ever break this position. Is he now moving a couple queens on in, which is I don't know. I mean, okay, you got transfused. I think it's going to be... Oh, these queens are getting a little bit misrallied here. That is not something, but it's okay because we're going to have DRG trying to break this now. He does have Vipers. He's going to get a parasitic blinding cloud on top of all of those tanks. And this looks like... Actually, no, Time still has the concave. Now we're going to have to see whether DRG with the follow-up Banelings is going to be enough here, but... Never mind, DRG, look at the supply. He's going to remax. This is totally fine. It looked like it was good for a moment. You know, Time had the concave. But, no. Unfortunately not. Time, he does have his 4th base done though, and that's going to be pretty nice for him, adding an additional couple barracks as he does go up to that count. But DRG, this is really interesting, Steadfast. This was looking for all the world like the, okay, I'm going Lingbane, I'm going to get a quick Hive, I'm going to go into quick Lurkers. We don't have a Lurker Den, it's only just now on the way, so DRG going to stay on this Ling Hydra Bane tech a little bit further. Not that it really matters, because I think this is actually the end of the game.
Yeah, tanks are going to get caught as they rally on out. DRG going to take down these Liberators. He has played a magnificent game number 1. Time going to try and come in here with a counter double drop, but DRG, he's going to be able to deal with it, and that is pretty much, oh my god, the target fire from Time is going to be fantastic, but it's not going to be enough. DRG will take game number 1, and what a masterclass it was. You mentioned earlier that DRG looks like one of the best ZVTs in Korea. I understand why you said that. That looked really convincing.
Yep, you're not wrong. I guess I'm not wrong because you're saying that I'm right. Anyway, you know, I'll pat myself on the back right there. But yeah, DRG looks damn good, and he plays a style that, okay, granted, he has gone on record and says he takes a lot from Cyril. He takes a lot from Raynor. So not all that surprising that we do see those evocative styles, but it's always really cool to see him take those old school techniques, those old school ideas that are still valid, but they've fallen out of the meta a little bit maybe. They're a new generation of players grew up maybe not playing with that. So DRG bringing all that back, merging the new with the old, and it looks, honestly, it kind of looks better than either.
Yeah, absolutely. It is a really, really sharp play style. Incredibly difficult to execute. Very, very high APM requirement. Very difficult to do. But DRG showing us that it's very doable and very possible. I gotta say, I'm really, really happy to see the return of DRG. Because I remember back in the day, the rivalry he had with MMA, the just fantastic play that he was able to show off. And then that was like 2012, 2013. And then, you know, like, he kind of just stopped playing as much. And recently he's got that fire back, and it's cool to see. And we'll have to see if he can keep that going today. Spawning down to the bottom right, currently up 1-0, representing Team NV. It is DRG.
And his opponent in the upper left, down 1-0, but certainly he is within range of striking on back here. For Kites of Gaming, he is Time. And Steadfast, I don't know if this was intentional or not, but you got a little bit more compression. Maybe you spoke in your mic a little bit more with the DRG introduction. I think that's, you know, we're talking about DRG, the man from 2013, the man whom time forgot. Okay, that was unintentional, but I'll take it. And you know, going back with a little bit more radio sound, I did appreciate it. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but I'm going to pretend it was.
I mean, I altered my voice a little bit. So, yeah, totally. I'm able to sound like a radio at will.
Just up that compression factor. But yeah, in all honesty, I mean, yeah, the man that time forgot. I think in this matchup, that is the perfect moniker for this great player. Generally the man from Busan, but you know.
Yes, yeah. He looked so good there, and damn it! I was literally just like praising him, being like, "Burrowed Zergling, so good! What a Gosu, amazing!" And then he just grabs all his drones and clicks them in the middle. I literally just caster cursed him in real time. I'll expect my paycheck shortly for helping you win this series. You know, I've managed to put some kind of hex on him.
He put a spell on you. And what else are we gonna really do a poor job of referencing in the first couple minutes of this cast? Who knows? It's only gonna get worse from here. Something like that.
Ooh.
Now, Time, this is really annoying, by the way. This is kind of falling out of the meta, but Time really does not want DRG to take this forward base because, you know, okay, DRG is just playing like a European at this point. The European meta, you take that advanced third on this base, you get the Lingbane, and you get the Quick Lair, all of this stuff. Yeah, DRG, he's just taking notes from Raynor and says, I'm going to do you, I don't know, one better, but I think you're playing the game the right way, so absolutely going to do that here. And it's pretty cool to see because normally it flows the other way around.
Yeah, no, normally it's the Koreans dictating the meta, but for quite a while, I would say, for a long time in ZVP, and now even starting to see it in ZVT, the Europeans are the ones dictating the meta, and that is a really, really cool concept, and a big nod to them. By the way, Double Reaper, very non-standard from Time, but he's going to get a lot of damage on this Queen. Second Queen will pop out pretty soon, but these Reapers are causing quite a problem, and DRG actually lets the gas finish. Bit of a mistake right there. And we're seeing a super fast third command center coming down from Time, by the way. Delays that second gas to get that down as quickly as possible. Oh, and he's going to find a creep tumor right here. Really magnificent start from Time so far.
Absolutely. You know, Steadfast, we talked about old styles, old techniques. Well, we're seeing that here. Time going for the Double Reaper style that has not been popular, yeah, pretty much since Legacy of the Void started on out. This was, of course, pretty much the standard opener that we saw back in Heart of the Swarm, but there's a very good reason why you don't spend that extra gas on the Reaper, why you don't go for the Double Reaper into Hellions, especially with this quick third command center. And you pointed out a second ago with your fantastic observing, but we have Roach Warren on the way, Steadfast, and the Roaches aren't the reason this doesn't happen anymore. More importantly, it's the Ravagers that come on in that make busts of the Terran so scary. And with this being a battlecruiser opener too, this is getting a little bit worrisome for our blue Terran player.
Yeah, he is going to get a safety Banshee, or at least start it up, which is very, very important. And if he doesn't let that finish, he might just die. Like, it's very important that he doesn't cancel that, but... Oh, we're going to see... Oh, my God, and it's Hellbat BC. Oh, man. This is... If that Banshee doesn't finish... Oh, he canceled it. Yeah, this is about the hardest counter of a build you can possibly get.
Yeah, but now the Zerglings are even going to get some damage done on these Hellions. And granted, are the Hellions what holds this? No. But it's nice to have them. Sometimes you can get enough splash shots off that it's going to be okay. But as you were saying, yeah, Time doesn't really seem to see too much of this. So we will have the battlecruiser on the way. And you'll eventually, if you get your battlecruisers out, you're going to maybe be able to knock down to stuff eventually. You know, I guess maybe the one saving grace, this is now Time will scout this for the first time, really. The one saving grace for this is he was going to have Hellbats, but actually, no, he will cancel the armory to make sure he gets more stuff out faster, and he's just going to abandon the Natural. He says, look, I understand that I'm going to lose a lot. Actually, I understand that I'm going to lose these supply depots, so I'm going to start building them up behind. Actually, okay, never mind, the armor was not canceled. But I understand I'm going to lose these supply depots in the front. I'm going to start building them behind so I don't get supply blocked. He already is supply. Oh, he got on the low ground, okay. But, yeah, this is going to be... the battlecruiser, yeah, will eventually clean this off, sure. Is it going to do enough in time? Absolutely not.
Yeah, the supply depots at the front, this was as greedy as this could have possibly been from time. They were all exposed. Now, the Ravagers did a good job of targeting down Hellbats initially. Hellbats behind the SCVs, staying alive for quite a while, but that means 35 SCVs have gone down so far. Make it 37. This will get cleaned up quite quickly as the Battlecruiser and Hellbats are going to be very, very powerful against this. But time is so far behind economically. Oh, and an unfortunate little Hellbat into Hellion Morph does lose him one of those Hellions, which he so desperately needs for the counterattack. Speaking of the counterattack, we do have this BC teleporting across the map, does take down the high energy Queen, and second one that has a transfuse almost goes down. But this Battlecruiser's already taken more than half of its HP and damage, and this is nowhere near enough damage. Ooh, now these Hellions will get into the natural. Oh, what?
Oh, what?
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 No! No! DRG, no! No! No, 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 no!
I actually don't know why he left there. I mean, yes, Hellions were getting on in. You know, maybe it was kind of one of those things where you're like, I don't think I got quite as much damage as I thought I did. And, well, you kind of get in that situation where, okay, maybe I didn't feel quite as comfortable with the damage I took, and I'm going to feel like I'm probably going to lose a mineral line, and there's the Battlecruiser still undealt with, and maybe I don't remember whether he'd creep connecting the natural in the third, so maybe the Battlecruiser is going to do more on the main base, and you're like, okay, this is just not going to feel good. Let's go to game 3. But if you saw what we saw, I mean, I'm grasping at straws here.
Why? Why did he do that? This is live, by the way. This is live. Oh my god. That was like Idra right there. That was an old school Idra GG timing. I'm reminded of 2 matches right now. There's one iconic map versus Huck on Metalopolis, and then there is the one versus MMA where Day9 famously says, "Did Idra just another one game?" And wow, I don't think the game was won, but he was not dead. And yeah. Well, he doesn't seem perturbed, so there's that. Yeah,
you realize those Battlecruisers were Haluk.
Oh man, that was something else. As we have spawning down in the bottom left, looking to recover. It is the Red Zerg player from Team NV. He's DRG.
And his opponent winning a lost game in game number 2. Hopefully, that's going to give him what he needs to take this game number 3 for Kites of Gaming. He is Time.
Oh man, I cannot believe that. That is mind-blowing. Now, granted, he was going to take a lot of damage to those Hellions. There was 5 Hellions in there. He probably loses 10, maybe 15 drones. But I gotta say, that was... He really jumped the gun, I feel.
Steadfast, I got it. You know, DRG was sitting in that game, realized he was going to lose actually a ton of workers, and said, okay, well, you know what? Even if I win this game, it's going to go late. Ain't nobody got time for that. Let's go to game 3.
Oh, my God. Well, you did it.
It appears that my Matcherino thing has broken. Nice.
Oh.
Instead of it being the nice Matcherino overlay, it's a redirect notice. What in the world?
Oh, cool. As you do.
Yeah, let's see whether we can fix that. Not sure what's happening with this actually, but luckily because you're observing, I can just try to figure it out.
Hell yeah, brother. Easy peasy. By the way, thank you to everyone using those Matcherino codes and all that jazz. We're already up to 2131 on the prize pool here. So we've already added $131 to the prize pool. DRG is going to take... So this is... you talked about the European meta. European players, I've noticed, are starting to take these sets of 4 bases towards the top left as well to try and just set themselves up for a nice netted mid game where they kind of have, if they can keep drops out of the 4th base, they can keep anyone from even getting into the main.
Yeah, absolutely. And you also got to remember that right-hand side position is a very powerful tank position So what do you do
yes.
when something like that, there are two ways. You either just try to ignore it and don't go there whatsoever, which honestly is not going to work all that well because you're eventually just going to have to expand there anyways, or you get ahead of things. You push your creep really early, you expand in that direction, and you make sure that you knock off the rocks early, which is kind of a given, but you expand in such a way that your creep gets pushed really far into the position that you don't want to deal with, because then that makes it that much easier to clear the tanks, to clear the Marines, to clear the push, whatever it may be, before the Terran really gets into that sieged up position that is so difficult to actually push away from. So that's what we see a lot of. That's why we saw DRG try to expand towards the linear third on Romanticide. Didn't work, of course, because of the double Reaper scenario and the STV block. And that's, again, what probably we're going to see here, because, again, you don't want the Terran to take that sieged up position. It's too damn difficult to defend. So just preempt it.
Yeah, no, it's anytime you can kind of get ahead of it, that's a good thing. And we are going to once again see another third command center build out of time. This time, it will be a Viking to start things off. No fusion core, so no battle cruiser coming down just yet. And probably going to be a Banshee after this Viking. That's kind of weird, though. This is, like, very weird to get the tech lab and get Viking first.
It's just going to be Mass Viking. It's going to be Mass Viking. He's going to get +1 air. He's going to fly around. He's going to land like 30 Vikings in DRG's main base. Snipe all the tech. Do it again. Do it again. Do it again. That is... Okay, never mind. There's a Banshee. You know what? A man can dream. I have time to dream in this matchup because, you know, I'm going to stop. I'm going to stop. There are only so many jokes we can make about that.
Yeah, we're running low on minutes.
There'll be time for that later. Is this where we start making like jokes about cooking, about, you know, sprinkling a little bit of time in there?
Very good. And yes, the answer is yes.
No, I love it. There's a restaurant near where I grew up that my parents would always go to on their date nights called It's About Time. And, you know, so I was always it's pretty cool. It had like a different menu every day and, you know, farm to table, whatever.
Cool.
Pretty good restaurant. But, yeah, It's About Time. So, any of you in Virginia area, go patronize them if they still exist. But also, when we're shilling things, let's show what we actually should be. This tournament sponsored by Matcherino. If you use the code Pink Pylon,
Pink Trip.
Pink Trip, there we go. That adds 50 cents to the prize pool. As you can see, it's already up to $232, or $2,232 now. Damn. It was just like,
I believe
it just went up $100.
Yep.
Oh, you were saying something.
No, I was just going to say G Fuel put up $100, I believe.
Huh.
Which is pretty sick.
Yeah, I've been trying to track the thing, but unfortunately, in this weird intermediate situation, I only have one screen, so I got like a tablet watching, and it's like not nearly as easy to track OBS and track chat and do all that. So apologies if I missed something. But what I won't miss is time. He's getting a little bit aggressive here. This is a rather atypical drop. Normally, you might expect to see Hellbats with this if you're going to move in with Hellions like that, but no. This is just going to be a lot of Stim Marines and a decent amount of Hellions. Now, DRG, he's going to look for the surround here, and he will get it, but the question is whether there are enough Zerglings to really make that hold, and it doesn't look like there are, at least not yet.
Yeah, he does get the medevacs very low here, but actually, I think 3 of the Queens have gone down. DRG's in a lot of trouble. He's down 20 army supply. This is a really, really high-pressure situation from him. Or on him, I should say. Hellions getting a lot done. Oh, but they don't target fire the Lings there at the end. That does allow DRG to hold on, clean this up, and, well, he's got Banelings now morphing up. His 1-1 will finish first. He does get that very quick burrow once again. And he was already on 69 drones during that, so not the end of the world. But that was a very, very scary moment. And this is continuing to look pretty scary. 1-1 is going to finish out first, though. And DRG does have the upgrade lead for the moment. Allows him to clear out that tank. I don't know if time can continue to push here. I feel like that's a little bit over-aggressive without combat shields.
Steadfast, do me a favor. Take a look at what you see in the production tab. And more importantly, take a look at the upgrades that exist. And take a look at the upgrades in the production tab, because there's one that is very noticeably missing.
The Baneling speed.
Yeah, it's so
very
easy to forget that.
Upgrade.
Yeah, sometimes you go for it and it's expensive and it doesn't go off. Nice target fire there from time. But yeah, DRG is never going to be able to get aggressive on the map at this point. It's going to be so difficult for him to be defensive at this point, as it's just Zerglings, and yes, he does have that 1-1 advantage, not anymore, of course. Time was able to get that on in, but as long as he doesn't have Baneling speed, I mean, look at them waddle, right? That's just not a thing.
Yeah, they're real slow off creep. They're slow on creep, to be honest. And we've already seen, we saw it earlier in that fight, very, very nice. Time is extremely good at target firing down those Banelings. Now that being said, DRG, he has done a good job of clearing this out so far, and Time, he's getting a 4th command center. He's not looking to end the game right now. He's looking to take a tempo-paced, based lead. And, well, yeah, just trade efficiently and keep the creep back, I guess, which is the opposite of a tempo-based lead. He's looking to control this match. But DRG, he is going up to 5 bases. He's just pumped out another 11 drones. He's got the 5th base done, actually. His creep spread has been pushed back in one area of the map, but it's still flourishing on all other aspects, all other routes. And, oh, another burrowed ling here. Wow, that's actually... This is going to be a huge counterattack. Nope, just kidding. Yeah. And he remembers the Bane speed. Very important.
Yeah. And a little bit late, but it looks like it's not going to punish him too hard. And you know, Steadfast, I am so glad that Pillars of Gold is the last match in this, last map, excuse me, in this series, because man, it always delivers, especially in this matchup. We see games going 20 minutes of epic action. Honestly, it feels like we see that more than we don't, especially when we're looking at players of this caliber. And I think we're going to get another long one, all right? We do have, of course, is Hive done? No, we have an Infestation Pit done. Hive is not on the way yet. But we see our DRG. Look at that Baneling targeting! Dear God, sorry. Oh. Hold that thought. But anyway, 2-2 is now done here. This is going to be a really nice timing here. DRG is going to look to swoop on in because there's still stuff in the medevacs. Yes, the army supply was somewhat equivalent, but so many Marines were sitting there in the medevacs, and as much as I talked about, yeah, DRG is going to take this late. 18, 19, 20 workers will go on down. The army of Time is going to get broken, and suddenly it doesn't look like that anymore. The Queen's walking!
The Brenda Parade, as Winter would put it. This factory, just barely getting saved right there. But it denies the tech lab, denies the tank from coming out. That was so good for DRG right there. He does end up ultimately getting pushed back, but he gets so much damage done to the economy. Oh, look at this, and he burrows the lings. And that's going to be 3 more dead SCVs at the least.
And then you burrow again, and you force... Well, actually, yeah, even more SCVs will go down. There we go. You burrow again, you force a scan, or maybe Time doesn't notice because, you know, you just kind of move on to deal with that and you go elsewhere. Now, the one thing here is there are...
He didn't...
There are absolutely 0 Banelings. Okay, now there are, but there were no Banelings on the map at the moment, so that's going to be a little bit difficult. But DRG, he's bought himself some time, and as you said, Time was not paying attention. DRG is going to get 9 more workers here, so this is getting a rather problematic. DRG is going to look for the break once again. This time, it's Hydroling Bane. It's that much more powerful. Banelings are going to come to sweep on in here. The tanks are going to go down. The bio is going to go on down. 160 supplied to 111 Time. He may have snatched defeat from victory from defeat in Game 2, but Game 3, DRG says that was a mistake. I should never have let you take Game 2. Game 3 is mine. DRG going to move on to the next round.
And does so in very, very solid fashion.